Everybody, good morning. It's Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., and you know what that means. It's time for NRG This Week. I'll be right back with NRG CEO and President Mike Weiner. This is NRG This Week. Here we go. Welcome again to NRG This Week. I'm co host Leon Thomas. NRG stands for Network Referral Group, and Network Referral Group President and CEO Mike Weiner is here with us today. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Leon, I am doing great. How are you doing this morning?
Everything is groovy here in Baltimore, Maryland. Do you know we haven't had any snow yet? How cool is that?
I was just thinking about that. You know what that means? When we start to think no snow, spring is coming, blizzard. So, looking about 2 weeks out, we've been set up with this before where you get into January, you get a little bit of Indian summer. We had 62 degrees about a week ago after -9 wind chill around Christmas. So, I think it's just setting us up. It's the calm before the storm. So, I'm
I
predicting a
know.
big snowstorm before the end of January, Leon.
That was your nice way of saying, Leon, you just talked up the storm. Is that what you're telling me? I just talked it
You
up,
did.
huh?
You brought that low pressure system in here. It's gonna stall off the coast, and it's gonna deck the East Coast with snow, including the great state of Maryland. You
Wow,
did,
that
buddy.
that's your meteorology moment by Mike Weiner. It's going to stall over the coast. I love it. I love it. Mike, Network Referral Group. If you want to learn more about NRG, you go to nrg.online. You can also call Mike. His phone number is 443-756-9656 to learn more about Network Referral Group. Mike, tell me something big, groovy, and new, exciting, whatever that's happening with NRG, and then we'll talk to our special guest.
Tomorrow morning at this time, NRG is going into India. It's massive, it's big, it's huge. I've got three people from India that are going to be helping me grow. It's going to be hugely on. It'll be 8 a.m. on my Zoom, 8 to 9 a.m. NRG India. Who would have thought when I launched back in January of '01 we'd be going into India? But because of COVID created, we had to go to Zoom. And Mike Weiner has been accused of taking lemons, making lemonade. We're now sharing the lemonade in India, Leon. So pumped, excited, jacked up. We can't wait to help our India friends with networking starting tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
I love it. I love it. Mike, I've known you for 25 years or more.
Yeah.
We even stopped the official count. And I remember when NRG was just kind of little small thing in Columbia, Maryland, Howard County, getting into Baltimore County and Northern Virginia. You've gone worldwide. Congratulations to you, Mike. That's hot stuff.
I appreciate it. One of my first memories of you, Leon, after the meeting at the hotel was Explorer World on Dobbin Road. We used to meet there and we'd walk into the back of the building with ice all over the place and trying to hold on to each other to make sure we didn't fall. But I remember back then. So yeah, we've come a long way and you've been a big part of our success. And it's all about relationships. You and I go back 2.5 decades. So yeah, we've
Indeed.
gone from a little to big, but the mindset is servitude, man, helping everybody everywhere.
Indeed, indeed. Congratulations again, folks. This is NRG This Week. We're here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. I'm Leon Thomas. I run the company called the Leon Thomas Group. To learn more about us, if you go to the Leon Thomas Group, you can learn all about everything we do to support podcasts, webcasts, and virtual events. Let us know how we can be your partner in all things virtual. Mike, we have a really special guest today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest and we'll bring her right on to the show?
Yeah, Leon, I'm very excited. Lynn Hart and I met a couple of months ago. She came out to the Massachusetts group courtesy of Cheryl Miller from Legal Shield. And Lynn has a family-run business, everything CBD related. But what I love about Lynn, there's two things. It's not just selling a product, it's the educational foundation behind that. And the other thing that I absolutely love about Lynn, she's a great networker. She's brought some great quality people to NRG, and she's from Massachusetts. We've already talked a little Tom Brady in the background, but really excited. Lynn, welcome to the show today. So it's great to have you.
Good morning, Mike and Leon. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Hey, Len, it's
Absolutely.
good to have you. Now, before we go any further, everyone listen, pay attention, hear it, see it, and all of that stuff. Use all your senses except smell. There's no smell-o-vision yet. We don't have that yet at the Leon Thomas Group. Today, we're going to be talking about CBD. None of us are doctors. None of us are in the medical profession. Anything that's said here, we're not endorsing it at the Leon Thomas Group. NRG is not endorsing the products. We're not medical professionals. Don't take anything that we say and react on it until you contact a doctor or someone that's a medical professional. Okay, everybody got that? We're not doctors. We're not saying do it. Everybody's clear. If you understand what I just said, still continue to watch the show, watch the video, watch the replay. If you're not in agreement with that, just kind of do like we used to do in the old days, hang up, like click the button, stop watching. Okay, we're all clear. I think all the attorneys would be happy. Okay, Lynn, here we go. Tell us about you. Tell us about your business. Tell us what you do.
So my business is pretty exciting. We're in a position where we get to meet a lot of people from all different walks of life and just really be there for them, listen to what's going on with them and try to, help their journey a little bit. My business, we opened in 2019 and we were the first dedicated retail CBD store to open on the whole South Shore. So that was a pretty exciting time. We had a couple of newspapers come in and do some stints on us, and we have those hanging up in our store. We're pretty proud of them.
So you have a CBC, and you say the South Shore. Now, I'm not familiar with Boston. I mean, I've been there a few times. I was in Revere, Massachusetts, out by the airport, right? And I came to town for a convention at the Boston Convention Center or whatever it's called. And the hotel I stayed at was connected to it. So I didn't get a chance to see anything, do anything. And it was like negative degrees outside.
Right.
When you say South Shore, can you give me a real quick geographic on what that would look like, where that is?
So from where you were just talking about in Boston, without any traffic, we're probably 15 minutes south of Boston.
Okay. All right. One more question before I turn it over to Mike. How did you meet Mike? I mean, there's a long story that I could tell you about how I met Mike. All right. And everybody's heard it before. Well, if you haven't, go back and look at some prior shows and you'll hear about it. Give me the short version on how you met Mike.
Pretty simple, actually. Cheryl Miller and I had been in another networking group, and she just invited me to come and check NRG out. And I met Mike, and we hit it off, and I decided to be a part of NRG, and it's been great.
All right, right on, and welcome. Glad to have you here on NRG This Week. I'm going to step away. You and Mike go ahead and talk, and I'll come back later.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Lynn.
Appreciate it, Leon. So, Lynn, I have a question for you. CBD, it's definitely one of those words that people have different emotions with it. One of the things I learned about you very quickly was you're into the education. So take a minute or two, talk about how you educate people on CBD, because people have so many opinions about it. And I know you've got some great products, but what's your thoughts on the educational piece? Why is that so important to you?
Well, it's really important because whenever you take anything nutritionally or otherwise, you really want to understand what it's doing in your body. And so the neat part is we have a doctor on our staff who teaches and trains us. So we're able to bring that education piece. So when you step into our store, and I do the same thing on a Zoom CBD 101 session for people who don't live locally that want that education piece. But when you step into our store, we take you over to a picture on our wall that shows the body and the endocannabinoid system, and CBD works with the endocannabinoid system. So we kind of walk you through exactly what CBD does, how it works in your body. We walk you through all of the different products to help you figure out what's going to be best for what's going on for your situation.
Awesome. Now, I know Leon hit it up in the beginning about not making medical claims. What is the number one thing that customers come back and tell you they benefited from? Is it better sleep? Is it less anxiety? If we're on Family Feud, and we do this with NRG Pinball all the time, but what would you say is one or two benefits that people that are using it have come back to you and said, "Hey, Lynn, I appreciate your product. It has helped me with such and such"? What would you say are the top two things?
The top two, well, that's hard to say, but the top two people have come back and told us that they're finally sleeping soundly and just really being able to function. And also, I also play pickleball, so a lot of our pickleball players, had braces on all kinds of areas of their bodies, and when they come walking through our store and they no longer need their brace, they're not limping. It's pretty cool to see.
Wait a minute, hold it. I gotta chime in. Mr.
Racquetball.
Did I just hear you say you play pickleball?
I do.
Oh, get her off the show. She's done. Take her off the screen now. I'm a racquetball coach. I run a youth racquetball program. You can learn more about that by going to racquetballrevival.com. RACQUETBALL revival, just like church, racquetballrevival.com. Mike, you didn't tell me you were bringing a pickleball player on the show. That would have been totally denied against the agreement.
Leon, can I just interrupt you for a sec? Do you realize that a ton of people who play pickleball are ex-racquetball players?
Well, they need to get their heads examined too. They need to come back over and play racquetball. Yes, but you are correct. A lot of ex-racquetball players are going to the pickleball scene. You are correct. Okay, I'll back out. You guys go ahead and talk. Lynn, you can stay on the show.
Last question, Lynn. You have really done an amazing job networking, and I get you and Cheryl are in a live group together. I'm really appreciative she brought you over. You've got a great personality about you. Why do you recommend people to me? You've done some amazing three-way text intros. I know we just added Jennifer. You've introduced me to some great quality people. What is it specifically about NRG? I like other people to talk about it than me. I think it's much more beneficial. What value? And you're in other groups, and that's cool. But what is it, maybe proprietary or something unique about NRG that you feel compelled to introduce them to Mike Weiner and NRG?
One thing that I really love about NRG and what sets it apart from other groups is right from the get-go, when anybody starts with NRG, you give them hot referrals. It's their warm referrals. So it's not just meeting with people and handing them their business cards. You're literally setting them up with people that they can call. And it's really about what we can do for each other too. I like that piece. It's not just, what can people do for me? It's what can I do for other people too. And I really like that part. But it's real tangible, referrals that we can call, because we can say, Mike referred me to you and thought that it would be a good thing for us to get together because of XYZ. So I think that that's what's really different. You don't get that in other groups. People here or there might give you a referral or may not, but it's consistent.
Gotcha. No, I appreciate that. We're going to bring Leon back on, but now, Lynn, you've been an amazing member. You and I have created a nice friendship, and I'm in Maryland, you're in Massachusetts, and that's the cool thing about Zoom. It brings us all together. So, Leah, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Be nice to her on this racquetball, pickleball thing, man.
Number one, Mike, I'm a nice guy. But you also know I'm passionate about a lot of things. Yeah, I'm sitting here just. Can I? Let me just share something with y'all. By the way, I generally drink bottled water Okay. And I go to my fridge this morning and I don't have any bottled water and I needed some water. So I turn on the tap and put some tap water in here, and two things happened simultaneously. One, I took a sip and I'm like, ugh, tap water. Right after that, Lynn, you said we have some pickleball players. So I got like a double at the same time. It's a good thing I wasn't on screen. Stuff would have just swirled everywhere. It was amazing. It was amazing. Okay, so Lynn, how do people get in touch with you? They want to talk with you more about CBD. They want to talk more about your business. How do they get in touch with you?
The best way is, if you're local, is to come right into our shop, because you're going to get an amazing experience. People actually love our shop. They're pleasantly surprised when they walk in. It's a very high-end CBD boutique type setting, and it's very tranquil, and people feel very peaceful about sharing because the setting is just amazing. So they can call us at the shop, 781-228-6179, or they could go online, your CBD store, Braintree. You want to make sure you're in the Braintree store, because although we are a small family-owned business, we are a franchise all over the world. So you want to make sure that you're getting our shop.
Right, so they can get in touch with you. They just call you at 781-228-6179.
And Jason would typically, he's my son, he works with me. He would typically be the one to answer the phone, because he's at the store Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are our hours that we're open.
Okay, good deal. Thanks for being here with us. And so now, what's this? You and Mike were talking like this little Tom Brady thing. We're not allowed to talk sports here, but we'll do so for the next 1 minute only. What's up with this Tom Brady guy? Mike said you and him were talking about Brady before. Why are y'all talking about Tom Brady?
Go ahead, Mike.
He's from Massachusetts. Len, have you've been to Patriot games? I assume, right?
Can you believe I have never been to an actual one? I know.
Wow.
I know. And I want to say to you, I really hope that you're wrong about your prediction for snow, because I don't want it. And that's probably the reason why I haven't been to a game. Is
I'm 58 years old, and when you get to mid-January and there's been no snow, Katie, bar the doors. You're about to get whacked. See, I could have been a sports announcer and a meteorologist in another life, Leon and Lynn, but I chose networking instead. So I've always been fascinated by weather, and I think we're getting set up for something in about 2 weeks.
Well, we're glad you went into networking, Mike. Not that you wouldn't have been a success at weather or sports, but we know you're a success here, and we're glad you are in networking. Len, I've never been to a professional football game. I'm a regular season professional football game. I live about a half hour from the Ravens Stadium, M&T Bank Stadium. I've never been there for a Ravens game.
My youngest son, Ravens that's his team, the Ravens.
He's an okay guy.
Really? That's cool.
He's an okay guy. All right, Len, thanks so much for spending time with us here at NRG this week. Wishing you the best of success.
Thank you so much, Leon. I appreciate you having me.
Mike, another great guest at NRG this week. Mike, I love it. I love it. You continue to roll in with great guests here at NRG this week.
I appreciate it, buddy. We're working on some more as well. So it's appreciate all your support, and that NRG showcase, the first annual one a couple weeks ago, was a big hit. So it's all over Facebook and LinkedIn, and everybody's been commenting about it that was on the show, just to give you feedback. So it's been awesome.
Great. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to work with you. Appreciate your friendship. This is NRG This Week. We're here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Eastern. If you're on the West Coast, just get up early. Come on live. Give us your comments, maybe even to be a guest on the show. To do that, contact Mike Weiner. His email address is mike@networkreferralgroup.com, or you can give Mike a call. His phone number is 443-756-9656. And to learn more about Network Referral Group, go to nrg.online. I'm Leon Thomas, co-host of NRG This Week, and we'll see you next week on NRG This Week. Here we go.